America, Kyiv and Baghdad. 9 places the Vikings reached. The Vikings went beyond their Scandinavian homelands. They voyaged as far as the Middle East and the Americas. The Norsemen served as mercenaries for foreign rulers. Viking expeditions spanned Europe, Asia, and beyond. 1. Istanbul, Turkey. Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, was the capital of the Byzantine Empire. The Vikings attacked the city twice, in 860 and 941. They never breached the fortified walls, but the Vikings impressed the Byzantines. 6,000 Vikings served as Varangian mercenaries. They defended Constantinople for Emperor Basil II. 2. Paris, France. France suffered repeated Viking raids, starting in the year 820. The most infamous was the Siege of Paris. It was led by Ragnar Lothbrok. He sailed 120 ships and 6,000 men up the Seine River. They besieged Paris. Charles the Bald, king of West Francia, intervened. He paid the Vikings 7,000 livres to spare Paris. The Vikings kept raiding France for over 2 centuries. 3. Baghdad, Iraq. Around the 9th century, the Vikings reached the Caspian Sea. Next, they traveled over 3,100 miles by camel caravan. The Vikings reached Baghdad and possibly Afghanistan. These Vikings weren't typical raiders. They were actually merchants. They traded with the wealthy Abbasid Caliphate. 4. Sicily, Italy. It is uncertain if the Vikings visited Sicily directly, but legends and clues suggest possible contact. According to legends, there was a daring Viking raid in the Mediterranean. It took place around 859. The raiders may have briefly stopped in Sicily. A few decades later, Vikings fought in battles in Sicily. However, they were likely Byzantine mercenaries, not raiders. 5. L'Anse aux Meadows, Newfoundland, Canada. The Norse exploration of North America began in the late 10th century. The Vikings beat Columbus by 500 years, but they didn't establish any lasting settlements there. They cared more about exploring and trading. They did have some temporary settlements. The first known settlement was L'Anse aux Meadows. It was established around the year 1000. However, it was abruptly abandoned. 6. Rif region, Morocco. After their Mediterranean escapades, the Vikings reportedly set their sights on North Africa. They were led by Bjorn Ironside and Hastin. In the year 859, their fleet reached Mauritania, that's modern-day Morocco. The Vikings proceeded to sack the city of Necker. They even captured some North Africans. They are said to have taken them as slaves to Ireland. 7. Kyiv, Ukraine. During their expansion, the Vikings set their sights on the east. They sailed along the rivers Volga and Dnieper. In 862, Rurik, a Varangian chieftain, formed a ruling dynasty. From that point on, these Vikings were known as the Rus Vikings. They went on to create Kievan Rus. It was the first Eastern Slavic state. 8. Greenland. In 985, Eric the Red sailed to Greenland. He came with a fleet of 14 longships. The Vikings built a thriving European-style community. They farmed, traded, and lived successfully for centuries, until the 1400s. 9. Luni, Italy. The Vikings never fully conquered Italy, but they did plunder Luni, allegedly mistaking it for Rome.